Hello and welcome, Blades Community Podcast. So, two special guests on today. So, we've got Rion, ex-student of Sheffield United Community College, and we've got Sam Essien, another ex-student of Sheffield United College. So, reason I've invited these two on today, one, to keep a student in your eyes, and obviously the current students that we've got, it'll be a good thing for, you've left us, 2 years now? So we'll be talking about progressions from them, what they're doing football-wise, what they're doing career-wise, and then we've got a bit of news, what's happened most recently with you, Sam, in league. So first of all, would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Rion. Been playing through with the Sheffield United Community College, and then from there I went forward to playing with Handsworth, and I've been there ever since. And then
Yeah, spot on. We'll talk about a little bit more of that in due course. And you, Sam?
Sam Essien. I was with the Sheffield United College course for 1 year, and then after that I moved to Halifax, and then from there I went elsewhere.
Yeah, spot on. So, Rion, we'll start with you first. So, how did you find college? So, first of all, how did you know about us? And then, did you enjoy it? What did you get out of it? What were the best bits about college, the 2 years that you were there?
I knew about it from my brother, because my brother and a lot of the people he knew, they went to the college, and I knew their experience was very good. They had good opportunities through it. So I did the same. Well, I looked into here, and then different colleges as well, but this one just seemed the best fit. Knew people here, I knew the players were good here, so I went through that. And to be fair, I love college. Coming out from school, very, very different in the way you're taught in lessons and the way you're taught on the pitch rise as well. Like, use our manager, like you're learning different elements of the game. Like for me, going back to playing in defence again, it's different and it's new, but I loved it. I think the way we were taught is a lot better in comparison to school, because it's a smaller group, so it's more focused on how you can benefit as an individual rather than just thinking, yeah, we've got a class of 30 kids, this and that, you get on with your work. It was more one-to-one sort of stuff, and that's why I enjoyed it, because it's more focused for you and you can benefit as an individual as yourself, and you're also working with a good group of lads as well.
Yeah, a bit more relaxed than school.
Yeah.
You didn't get told off as much, and
gives you more of a like independent and freedom, and you're treated more as an adult rather than just being like a silly child in a way.
No, good. Like, glad you got that experience. Your tutors, 2 years with Sellers.
Yeah, I
Tell us a bit about him.
Sellers was a legend for me. I think he's one of the best teachers I've come across in anything. He's just someone that always came in with a smile on his face, always tried to get the best out of everyone, and he never really let anything negative bring him down. He was always 100% energy with everything, but he was the type of person that he just changed his teaching ways. Like, he don't just teach you in one way. It can be visual, can be more verbal. It just depended on the type of person, but that's what he did very well. He understood who he was talking to. He knew some people might learn better with visual stuff. Some people might learn better by just listening to him talk. So he adapted his teaching mechanisms really well. That's why I respected him, and I like him so much, because he's a teacher that can bring the best out of you by actually caring about you, if that makes sense.
And the amount of lads, like, probably from your era, what he's got through college. So, like you just spoke about school, many people that come to us didn't like school, but then thrived the 2 years that were with us and got like merits and distinctions. And I think a lot of that down is to Sellers at time. And do you remember our classroom and the year above? Like, it weren't the best environment, as in like teaching wise for Sellers, but I don't know how he did it. And then them games in morning.
Yeah.
How good were they? I used to come in your class, just sit in your class in the first half an hour.
Yeah, it's one of them which, that's what it is. And when you come into school and it's like form, you're bored, you're tired, whatever. But then you come in, like, you don't want to be late because you don't want to miss the games. If that
got you
sense.
straight away, hasn't it? I don't know how he does it. We've sadly lost Sellers now, so he's gone to esports side of stuff. So he's not with sports now, but we'll try and get him back in a few years. I will.
Convince him.
What about you, Sam? What did you find? What did you enjoy most about college?
I enjoyed it a lot. I think the most thing I enjoyed was obviously the football side, of course, but I just thought, obviously, when you're learning as a group, you're learning as a team as well. So obviously, like Rion, I knew Rion before, I knew other people before I came to the college. So I'm literally chilling with my mates while learning and playing football. So I don't think you can really ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, good environment.
Yeah.
Then football wise, so I just want to tell everyone what you've just done a week ago. Why I've got in touch with you.
I play for Boston United now, and we win promotion, won the playoff final. So from now National League North to Conference National League. So that's a big step, to be honest. I'm happy for that.
Big step up from college football.
Yeah.
So I can remember when you first come to college, and I've spoken about you this before, and obviously no disrespect for you, but come to us with injury really. You were back rating and couldn't really move, couldn't really get about, and then you saw like 2-3 months in around Christmas for he's not doing bad here now. We got through your injury a little bit, didn't we? And because obviously we were playing a lot before us, focused on college and training 3 times a week, and got a bit out of you. And then from Christmas, you were like a new player, weren't you? You know, like how we got on, and one of the reasons, but well, for why you sat there, one of the reasons why we won league, and we'll come to that, why we won college league and what division it were. But just want to talk us through that a little bit, and how college football helped you, how the training helped you to get to. You went after us. You went to Halifax, got a contract there, and then we'll talk about your little loans from there. But just a bit on college football.
Well, college it was good because it was competitive. Like obviously, everyone wanted to win. You had to actually work hard for your shirt, and obviously, when you're playing with your friends, you just think, "Oh, it's all right. We can win this," or "It's all right. It's just a silly game," something like that. But it was actually quite competitive. Everyone wanted to actually win. Everyone wanted to play. So, as well as doing the education side of stuff and making sure your work's done, you can also play the football side of stuff and making sure you win.
And who were driving you to do that? So, what were the main reasons? So, were it the players, were the coaches that you had, or because it was a good side that we had, weren't it? And like you said, if someone weren't performing, there'd be another side just knocking on the door straight away, wouldn't there? The side that we had. So,
to be honest, it was everyone. To be honest, both players, staff, and coaches. Obviously, sellers from that aspect. In the education side, if you didn't do your work, you didn't train, you didn't play. So obviously, that was like a kick to make sure you do your work, make sure you actually do it to the best of your ability. And obviously, from the coaches side, you just think, oh, if I'm not training, how can I play? So do my work, train well, play well, earn my shirt, play the game.
Yeah. So a good environment for you to thrive in.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about, if you want to talk about Rion, so your first year in college, winning national what were it? CFA North East Division 1. Yeah. So do you want to talk about that experiences and the last 3 games at season, what happened? And
it just
didn't lose many, did we?
Nah, except that penalty shootout.
Yeah, in Cup.
Yeah, I missed that penalty, but yeah, we'll not talk about that one.
What a final at Cup.
Yeah, but it was. I agree with Sam. It's the same thing with you're competitive. Me personally, I don't really think it was. I was nervous of losing my shirt from my manager. Not like I think it's just I've grown up with like competitiveness with my brother, my dad, whoever it is. So if I knew someone was doing better than me, whatever drill it was, if it's passing drill, shooting drill, like we're doing killer at the end of sessions sometimes, just working on a bit of passing and shooting. I'd never wanted to lose that. I'm always competitive to want to win. So I think a lot of the players did have that as well, where they want to push themselves, or you sort of defending your ego in a sense, like you want to be the best player. No one else can touch you in training and stuff like that. And then it comes to the games, it pushes you forward. That's why we did so well in the league, I'd say, because no one wants to play bad. Because we all know someone's can be very easily replaced because we had good people there. But then towards the end of the season, where we're pushing to win the league, pushing to win cups, everyone was on it, but everyone's supportive in that way because we bonded together as a team. It's like, yeah, come on, so and so, like you're good at this, do that in a game. But I think that's why we were such a good team.
Especially for you two lads, like that environment's probably spurred you on to how well you're doing in non-league football now. Because obviously we tried to drill it in you straight away that it's not Sunday League anymore.
Yeah.
And I keep telling lads that we get the first years and the pre-season that we had. As soon as they can get rid of that mentality, it's not Sunday League, the better.
Yeah.
And we try and prepare people for non-league. So it's not going to be always nice. You're not going to be spoke to all nice like you went classroom all the time. Because you won't be in non-league. You've probably got that experiences in your first 3 weeks, if that, at non-league. So So we do want to win games, and obviously that's not for everyone in the community, but for the top 2-3 teams, and that's what they probably want out of it more than staff wise. And probably your team, I needed to probably get that around my head straight away that you do want to win games of football.
Yeah.
It's not there just for development, and it paid well out for us as a team winning that league. But from everyone that's moved on since, I can remember like probably just top of my head now, Cass at Man City, how good he were, and I thought he could have gone in football, but there were people like that like knocking on in our team that were good players, weren't they?
Yeah.
Were you in around? So just talk about you a little bit more, Rion. As in, you come to us as a forward. I still had a right back now, you know. I'm still playing. So Isaac Williams our right back at minute. He's a centre mid. I've not had a full back yet, and just want to explain that what probably I did to you, and
I think
for 2 years.
because when I was younger, probably I don't know if you remember when we used to play each other as kids, but when I was younger, about under 9s to under 12s maybe, I used to play as a right back. My coach from when I was young, I used to play at Young Owls, and he never used to. Do you remember Richard Lake? He never used to like people that can just only play in one position. He wanted to move you about everywhere. And I've always been an attacking-minded player, but I could play right back because he forced me to play right back at times when I was younger, or in defence. So then when it got to that first taster sessions with the college, we did a big 11-a-side game, and they had no right back, and then I just says, I can do a job there. And I think I played quite well in that game. And then I think you saw me play that, and then it was just from then. I didn't like it at the start, but I sort of grew into the role. But I appreciate it now because playing non-league and stuff, I'm more versatile. When you were the manager of Handsworth, I played, I think, every single position except centre-back and goalkeeper. But it's, right back, left back. It's understanding how to defend properly, but also I think it's a benefit for you because you've got a full-back who wants to go forward, who can score goals, who can put good crosses in the box. I'm not just someone that's like, just can only think backwards, really.
Yeah, and fair play to you, and also obviously your attitude is a big factor in that. And like you just said, anywhere I put you, I know you give 100%.
Yeah.
I think you look at Anthony for Manchester United. Now, did you see him over there when someone asked him to play left back?
Yeah, it's fuming.
Go and do your job right. Do you know what I mean? And wherever you are, and that for your development, you know what I mean. Like playing right back, playing in middle at park, playing up top. It's only good to what you're doing now in non-league. And same with you, Sam, really. Played you as a 4, 8, 10. I think you had a good right back at one bit. So, but yeah. So talk about a bit. So Sam just talked about his football-wise. What about you now? What are you up to now?
At the moment, I've been injured this entire season. First game of the season, I've ruptured my ACL.
Started as well, so I had a good pre-season behind you. Obviously, I went to a few pre-season games to watch you, and then I'm actually at the first game of season, and couldn't believe
started right back as well.
I know, yeah.
It was just a non-contact injury. I just tried to change direction. It wasn't like a 90-degree turn. It was literally just forward and a little bit to the side, and then I just felt a big snap in my knee. You can see on the footage, you can see my knee sort of like collapse inwards a little bit, and then I went to the hospital that night. I think I was there for 5 hours. 4:30 in the morning, I finally got seen to. Sit on the table and the doctor's ragging my knee about, and I was in absolute agony. But then he wasn't very interested. It's one of them ones, an accident emergency. It's just he just wanted to get me on my way, really. So I had to beg him for a scan. The only thing he'd give me was an x-ray, and I knew my leg wasn't broken. So I rehabbed an injury I didn't know I had for 6 months. I thought it was just a meniscus injury. My knee was fairly strong, and then on my 5th game back, I planted my foot and I felt the snap again. And this time I went to minor injuries, and they sent me to a knee specialist, which I did that the first couple of times, but they just said the same thing, like probably meniscus damage. But then they finally gave me an MRI, and it turns out I had a full rupture. But in that 6 months I did the rehab, I was training for about 2 months, and I was playing a couple of games. I played like up to 70 minutes. There was no problems with it at all, and I was so hungry to get back on the pitch. It's like I played a game of the Handsworth reserves just to get some match fitness back. I started the game, and Simon, the manager, he brought me off for 70 minutes. I'm just begging him to come back on, I'm like, why have you brought me off? It's just one of them ones I was hungry to play, but now I've got surgery next week. So get the graft done and then just back to doing a rehab.
Yeah.
Hopefully, can get back for the season after next.
Yeah, wish you all the best for that as well. So, year
Sure.
before, you want to talk a little bit about that? You playing with Answorth?
Yeah, it was with you. He was the gaffer. Enjoyed it. It's one of them ones where you're learning the game a little bit. You're learning, yeah. You're watching people play in your positions and stuff, coming off the bench and stuff. It's just one of them ones where you're having to understand how non-league football works, how you manage a game in a certain situation, if you're winning or you're losing, the ways you go about yourself. And for me personally, it's pushing myself to be better, making you want to realize I'm a better player than this person. I do this in a better way, and it's just sort of pushing yourself in that manner. But it's just game experience, understanding physicality a bit more, which I think both of us have been quite good at.
I think that's most frustrating bit for you this season. Like, you were in and out last year,
Yeah.
rightly so. 17-year-old, 18-year-old. This year, thinking, right, I've got a chance here. I'm going to kick on. I've learnt from last year, and I've learnt what players around me.
Yeah,
Right, I'm going to get it good this year, and then bang, what happened to you? But still a young lad.
yeah,
Obviously, with your mentality and your training ethics and your work rate, you'll soon get back after operation. Don't worry about that.
hopefully.
So, on to you, Sam. So, playing wise, you got a contract at Halifax. Do you want to talk us through that, how it come about, and what happened?
So after the first year at Sheffield United, there's this guy called Ross. We just played a friendly against Halifax in the youth team, and then from there they asked me to come on trial. And from there I signed like a second year scholarship kind of, and then played there for a year. I was enjoying it, and then the year after I got a pro at Halifax, which was obviously that's what every child dreams of. So at that point I was happy. I was thinking, okay, yeah, I can do this now. And then obviously a year later, I didn't get my contract didn't get extended with Halifax, and then from there I moved to Boston, and then obviously now we've won promotion. So
Yeah, some commitment in that. And also Halifax, I remember your train journey. Like, what were it in 2 or 3 stops?
Yeah,
And
it's horrible. But
so some commitment in there 4 or 5 times a week. And then while you were at Halifax, your loan moves?
yeah, I went on loan to Gold Car. I went on loan to Handsworth as well. I think Handsworth was good because obviously when coming off the bench, it's actually quite hard coming off the bench. So you always have to be watching the game. You always have to be watching who's in your position, thinking, "Oh, what is he doing that I can do better?" Or what is he doing that I need to keep doing? And obviously, if you're winning a game and you come on, you make sure you don't lose. If you're losing a game and you come on, you make sure you make an impact. So that's what really I learned from men's football. I think it was good for me because the physical side of it was really good, because obviously you get kicked a lot. There's bigger people than you. So obviously it's a good experience, to be honest.
I think we both enjoy that aspect of the game though. Like,
Yeah.
When someone's like kicking you about, I think it kind of like hungers you to like, yeah, all right, I got you now. And I know him definitely. If someone's doing that, he gets in the like he gets under the skin, like just saying stuff. But then your performances, when you do a good performance, it's like a big slap in the face to them older lot that are like think they can just kick you about, but they got a young player. And I know he used to do that quite a lot because I used to laugh at it all the time on the pitch. But
I can see on both of your faces and all. Like,
yeah.
as soon as you
He knows
start
it's
talking
true.
about
He
that,
knows
your
it's
face is
true.
lit up. But 2 leaders on pitch, so what old heads on young shoulders. Remember you first few games where you spoke about and spoke to people when you're on pitch. I was like, this is not about a player that's going places, and just want to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously,
That part of your game.
yeah, I always thought of myself to be a leader. Maybe not a captain, but a leader that leads on the pitch and off the pitch as well. And obviously, like you said, the first 3 months I was carrying an injury, so I wasn't really playing my best football, but I could still lead in that aspect. And obviously, it was my first year, so there was a year above. So me seeing like Rion and all these players playing with the year above, that was obviously like a push for me to keep on leading and to keep on the pitch, be better on the pitch, so I could obviously play with the year above, because that was obviously.
If you didn't start there, like probably worth telling the viewers like. So obviously Sam, when he first come, we already spoke about your little injury. Rion and a few of us went straight from their first year into second year, and like we spoke about, we were only till about Christmas, weren't it? When you started getting involved in there towards the back end of the season. So it just shows like you weren't even in main side at college in your first year, and a lot of first years won't. At college level, 'cause you've seen like how good that like the level actually is, and then you next minute you're getting promoted with Boston, 3 years on.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's think about it. If you think about 3 years ago, I was doing a college course, and now I'm on TV. On TV winning promotions. So it's a massive jump, but it's a good. It's just
Got blue tick now, no?
Yeah. Soon come.
So what's plan going forward, you two?
Go on.
What's your plan? Obviously, we spoke about yours a little bit with your injury, and what do you want to do? So in what 6 month time, when fully recovered or on road? 6 months after that, what we saying?
Try 9 months, but
It's
I think for where we are now, I think that it's a good and a bad thing about England is the football pyramid is you usually if you're not in that academy environment straight away from around 15, 16, if you're trying to get yourself into non-league, I think a college degree or something like that is good for you, because especially for community foundation, you had that link up with Handsworth, and I would never have gone to Handsworth if it wasn't for me going to this college course. So God knows where I'd be with non-league football. But I remember you asking me, saying, what you doing next season? And I just says, I don't really know, to be honest. You asked me to come down to Handsworth, and then from there, 18 straight into the 21s, and then I think I was within the first team with it by November. I remember I game against Swellness. It's just from there, just trying to build up through the football pyramids with going up the steps. You want to get to from probably step 5, step 3, step 1s, going upwards that way, or potentially because these sellers out there. The dream is to go pro at the highest of levels. But it's with England, you got to have a very good work ethic, and you got to know people as well that will recognize the potential in you. Knowing that you can play at that level, they've just got to have a bit of faith in you, or give you a little bit of time. Or wherever it is, a lot of people go to different countries nowadays and try and get football out there. So wherever it is, I've just got the work ethic to go and try and get it.
You just want to play football?
Yeah, just kick about.
No, good. What about you, Sam? So what's happening with Boston now? Have you? I know it's a bit early, but have you spoke with Gaffer what's happening next season? And
obviously we find out this week or next week if obviously I was only offered a year contract, so we find out this week or next week if my contract's extended. So fingers crossed, hopefully, because obviously we're getting promoted into the National League. But obviously I'm still quite young, so I can obviously look at myself and say, I'm not going to be playing week in, week out in the National League. So hopefully I get a few appearances and go on loan to a high level team, probably the league below. Just try to get some game time out there.
yeah, I'm sure there'll be clubs already knocking on door for you if that contract's not extended. Yeah, you got a few offers and everything. So no, all good. So a few questions now to end on. So what did you do as a young age to achieve what you've done now? Or what's the best advice you give to the viewers?
I think my best advice is nah, you go.
For me personally, best advice for young people is get your basics right. Get work ethics, communication, and then the basics of football right. Make sure things like passing is crisp and stuff like that. I do coaching myself, and I can see it with younger people. Sometimes kids have got all the talent, but maybe they're a bit quiet on the pitch, or maybe they don't work hard or something like that. I think for younger people, from any age, to be honest, any age up to ours still, it's just getting your work ethic stuff right and your discipline. Be disciplined on the football, discipline with your football. But I forgot your other question.
While we're on that, so we'll just lead on to that. So how did college set you up to where you are now? So what did they do right? So we spoke about little bits in classroom, spoke about little bits on training ground, but I'm sure you both that you were chuffed that you did come on college course. Obviously, where you've gone from that now. But what were the best bit that happened in college?
I think best bit was probably that discipline, as you say, especially for that first year. We were going training with, so we're only in 2 days a week, but even on the days we weren't in, you go and train with the second years, and you want to prove a point with the second years. I'm better than you, and you want to play as a starter with the second years, which I think a lot of the first years did end up pushing the second years out, which was a good showing for us and for you as the manager. But yeah, it's just that training 3-4 times a week. You got a game as well. You consistently football, and for the lads that were doing their Sunday league stuff as well, they're still training probably twice a day sometimes, and then with a game on the weekend, or potentially 2 games on the weekend, and just doing your extras. I think that's what you guys allowed us to do at college. We've got that pitch that's available. I remember a couple of the lads, we wanted to do extras after training. I remember me and Aaron used to try and do 1v1s with each other all the time, or just shooting practice or whatever it is, allowing us to be able to do the extras. I think some places don't. It's like, nah, don't have the coach. Nah, we want to go have our lunch. I think you guys allowed us to, gave us that's what I was saying about the freedom. You gave us the freedom to be able to push it ourselves rather than you guys just having to do the whole stuff for us. But I think
me and Lanks just been on about that actually. So like obviously when me and Lanks were at your age, this weren't about. But what a massive difference that would have been for us. Knowing instead of going, I don't know, if someone else going on a building site or getting an apprenticeship, someone in non-league football just coming into it, training 4 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, like must be a big difference, like physically, like mentally, and obviously technically, like 4 times a week, rather than just training an hour and a half at night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, so that's must have been a big difference for you.
I think it gives you that more professional view, because when you go up the football pyramid into the high leagues and professional football, they are doing 2-3 training sessions. They are doing gym sessions. They are doing, like yoga stuff like that. And then making sure you're eating right. I remember you guys were saying, "Why are you eating that stuff?" Sometimes it's like you're just going about
your meals were unbelievable. What you used to bring in?
It's
one shift for couscous.
It's one of them things, but I think for me personally, because I had a good diet and stuff like that, gave me the opportunity to play as much as I did and train as much as I did. And then there was sometimes when I play for the first years and then the second year straight after that, and I could like keep going. I think that helps separate you when you're doing all that extra stuff. But
what were your diet like? What biscuits did you used to bring in and that? What pop? They won't be listening. They won't be listening, Boston. Don't worry.
Chocolate digestives, though.
Oh my god,
they were amazing.
Cookies for breakfast, for dinner.
And then what? Like full liter or what?
Oasis, isn't it?
Couldn't believe it. Used to walk in and get that. So a bit of advice. So last question. So obviously students are sat there where you are now. Some are in the first year, into the second year, and then we've got some new students coming through, and hopefully they'll come and watch or listen to this podcast. So what advice would you give them? So a lad that's just got promotion with Boston, a lad that went straight into hands of first team in college. What advice would you give them?
Well, I'd say just work hard. I think hard work is probably one of the most important things in football, because obviously on the pitch you can have a bad game, but if you're still working hard off the ball, it'll still help. If you've got no work ethic, if you're being lazy, if you get in your own head when you're playing, then it will just mess everything up. And that's the same for education as well. Also, you need to just be selfish in a way. Yeah. As bad as it sounds, you need to think about your own self and think about. Obviously, it's good to have friends, but you need to think about your own self and think about, what can I do to make me better? Not what can my friend do, because what if your friend goes up and he's not going to be looking back on you? So as bad as it sounds, you need to be selfish. You need to work on your own self. You don't really need to listen to what other people are saying in a way. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, what to add to that, Rion?
I'd agree with that. I think you do have to be selfish. I think sometimes you got to think about, not to be disrespectful to some people, but Cass sometimes he didn't have the best work ethic, but loved him as a person. But then we know that we've got to do our own stuff after, and make sure we're looking after ourselves. And then is like going and training pre-season, going and doing like small sided games and stuff like that, just making sure your fitness is there. You gotta be selfish sometimes, but he's correct. Work ethic is so important. I think a lot of people, they always think, yeah, I've done this session, I've done that, but it's like someone's doing more than you. There's always someone doing more than you, no matter what level you're at. There's always someone doing more than you. If you're thinking to be the best all the time, you got to be doing more than everyone else. But yeah, you just gotta keep pushing yourself. If you stop pushing yourself, you won't progress.
I don't think there's any surprises where you've ended up already in your careers from that attitude and that desire. And a bit of a proud dad, sat here and got 2 lads in that. Because it was my first year with you, really. First proper year, and to see where you've gone already from it. I'd have never thought that from myself, and pushed me every day on coaching field. I remember you coming 2 months in and saying, what can I improve on? And I was like, what? 16-year-old, like, is coming up to me and asking that, and I just thought it was unbelievable. And then from Christmas, where you went to places that we never thought that you would, and you were probably surprised in it. And we had to catch you up as a coaching team. Me, obviously Ryan Lates for about at the time as well. And we got our heads together, and we need to go and improve a year or two. So, and obviously there's other players that have gone and done that as well, but couldn't be happier. And probably from this podcast, if people are listening and watching in, it shows you come across how well that you've done, and education wise and football wise, how far you are going to go in life. So couldn't be happier.
That's probably another thing as well. Make sure your education's sorted, because I mean, for me, I've got ACL and meniscus damage at the moment. I probably won't be able to work for a little bit straight after my surgery. But even so, if something bad does happen, where God forbid I don't be able to play football for a good amount of time, I need to be able to be sorted off the pitch as well. So when Sam's saying we had to make sure that we had our work sorted, is not wrong. You got to make sure, because there's many things that you can lead to going down a college degree, but making sure your education's sorted is a big, it's a big thing, because you want to be able to even just experiencing different, like if you want to go be a physio or just understanding your body better. We did stuff like that, and you understand the different parts of your body, how you can improve that sort of stuff. But making sure that's sorted, it just gives you a backup plan. You never really want to
plan B, aren't you?
Yeah, you never want to think about a backup plan. You always got to think about your A plan and push for that. But it's always a fallback. Like, I've got a bad injury, I need to make sure that I can go into something where I can still keep progressing, make money, make a living, whatever.
And same with you, Sam. If that contract didn't happen with Boston, what's your plan B? You've got one straight away, aren't you?
Yeah, obviously I've got an agent now, so I think he's got a couple of things lined up and stuff. So obviously, just like he said, it's always good to have a backup plan. It's always good to have something to go back on, because obviously when in the first year, when I first started, education wasn't really for me. I just wanted to play football, but coming to the college course, I'd actually say education is probably the most important thing. And obviously it helps a lot, because there's something always there. There's always a second option. If your first option doesn't work out, unfortunately, you've always got something there to look back on.
I think majority of lads that come on course just want to play football.
Yeah.
But then soon as they're into us in the first week, right, education does come first. The Reds start swaying, don't they? So
it doesn't hurt to have that though. It doesn't hurt to push a little bit more in your work. Just make sure if that's sorted, you're going to train anyway. If you do as much as you can in the 3 or 4 hours before training and the 3 or 4 hours after training, it does not affect you really. You can still, to be fair, it makes you chill out a bit more towards the end of the year, because you've got all your work sorted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you're getting the best grades possible, if you want to go into a uni, like some people, they didn't want to probably carry on football at the end of the 2 years, but if they want to go into uni, they're sorted in that, they can do whatever degree they want if they're triple distinction stars. I think that's a very important thing. So for the lads that just think, I just want to play football, it's all well and good, but what if his back just preventing him from playing football for the next 2 years? What's he going to do then? Like, my knee, I can't play football I'm probably missing the whole of the next season. I've got to do something for a year. I can't just sit about. So just making sure that's sorted. It never hurts anyone, but it's one of them. It's when you're young, you can be a bit immature sometimes. You don't really think about that. My brother was the same. Never really. He's very intelligent, but like, don't really think about a backup plan. He's just constantly forward, but it never hurts to have a backup plan. But yeah,
great advice, gents. Great advice. So we'll finish on little Sellers' wheel. If you want to spin it, Rion.
We've got to move that little octopus out of the way.
No, we spin it. We'll read it at the top anyway. You feel that, can't you?
I'm gonna rag it for ages.
Not be long, no.
Oh,
Desert.
Yeah.
dessert or desert?
Desert. It's two
Desert.
S's.
Okay.
Education first. Yeah. Go on then. You go first, Rion.
Don't even know. Maybe like a
You have to rush you.
tiramisu or something. I don't,
Tiramisu?
I can't think of it. I don't really.
What's that?
You know what a tiramisu is?
It's unbelievable. It's just a right random one.
It's 'cause you just live off that chocolate digestion, isn't it? It's only dessert, you know.
I'd be
You'd be an Oreo. You used to bring me all the time.
I'd be a Kinder Bueno cookie dough
Ooh, that's a shout.
because it's melted inside. It's just amazing.
Ah,
Love it.
Kinder Bueno waffle.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with your first answer. Spin it again. Spin it again. One more.
Oh, go on.
Keep Sellers happy. I thought you grew up away.
Right, again, mate.
Football memory.
Question.
Football memory.
We'll get you one else. It's a good one. Your
Um,
top one. Can't be Boston. Most recent one getting promoted.
football memory. I'd say signing my pro contract at Halifax. I just think that was amazing. That's obviously what every child that plays football dreams of. So for me to actually, when I actually did it, I didn't really sink in, if you get what I mean. And obviously, when you're training every day with the first team, you just get used to it. But obviously, other people would die to be in your position.
Yeah.
So
Don't get any better than that, does it?
Yeah.
No, good and pal. How about you, Rion?
I've got a couple, but I'll probably give one. It's that first time when I got the call up for the first team. I think that was for the age. I don't know if I was 16 or 17 at the time. Probably I think I was 17.
Yeah, just turned.
But I think it was that, putting all the work in and for it to be recognised. And I remember coming on the pitch, came on for Leon. I still remember it, but I think it was just a bit.
You were there watching it, aren't you?
You could have scored.
You were playing
Yeah,
that game,
chance.
innit?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. I was fuming. Skied it. But
Just want to talk us through that then. So, call up, rung you, message, what were it?
it was an up and down because I remember Simon, he took me out of the 21 squad. He says, I'm going to take you out of the 21 squad because Aiden needs you for the first team. And I was buzzing. And then Simon messaged me about the next day. He goes, the guy that you were replacing has come back. So we'll put you back in the 21s. I was like, no. And then he told me, nah, you're going to play. So it was back on the high again. And I just remember turning up. There was me, Sam, and Rama. They were like the 21 players. Yeah. I've got a good memory. I was surprised myself. And then it was. I just remember watching the game, trying to learn the players' names and stuff like that. And when I came on, it was just like, right, I've got to express myself. That's probably one of the advice as well. You've got to be expressive, use your pace, use my skills, try and get shots off. I think that's something that I do quite well. So just trying to express myself. I had a decent game. I remember you got someone. You played right back. Yeah. You got someone sent off diving. Yeah. But yeah, it's just it was a good feeling after. Like that's my first step to where I want to be getting to. Like you do all this stuff as a young player with your younger teams, but once you're in the first team, how do you progress from there? So it was a good feeling. I was buzzing with myself. And then I don't know if I was in for the next couple of match games as well, and then towards the end of the season with it back in the squad again. But it was just a good feeling. I was just happy with myself.
Well, pleasure to give both of your debuts. Just remember we get that contract, so we get that.
Remember my debut?
I remember your debut.
Yeah, coming on at Sherwood.
Yeah.
He got sent off after about 3 seconds. Flying in. And as soon as he floated in, I saw tackle, I just turned around and thought, what's he done here? Straight red. Couldn't believe it. So where you come from there, the experiences? Probably from team talk or the little when I spoke to you before I came on, I probably shouldn't have. I probably just like, 'cause your emotions just like so high. And as soon as you saw that ball, I thought, oh no, he's going for that. About 5 minutes late. Horrendous tackle. So, but that's a pod. So thank you for watching or listening. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, and if you do want to watch us, we're on YouTube as well. But cheers for coming in, gents. Really appreciate it at your own time. Absolute pleasure to see where you've been after us at college, because that's why I'm in this show and that's what I do it for. We're trying to set you up to be men, to set you up to have good careers and have good football careers, and you're two are well on your way. And I wish you all the best, and we'll keep in touch, and we'll come and go and smash you. Go and get your operation done, get your recovery, and you'll go and smash it. 'Cause you'll go up the leagues, and all the best for that contract, mate. And I'm sure if you don't get it, there'll be other clubs after you straight away. So, but yeah, cheers, gents. Thank you.
Champions League soon, yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you.